Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel and this amazing video. I am Aditya. In this video, I wanted to share something interesting with you that I came across while working on my own SaaS project. So without any further ado, let's begin. Now this is a Next.js project, and this case can be in any project. It could be Next, it could be Svelte, or any sort of front-end development. Now let's say if we have a file upload over here like this, and when I click process file, when that operation is happening, I want to disable the navigation over here, because it might be the case that if they navigate on one of these pages, this operation might be interrupted. So how can I avoid, like let's say if I am uploading the file like here, when I click process, while the file is processing, how can I avoid the navigation over here? Now there are a couple of ways to do it, or actually there are a number of ways to do it, but let me show you one simplest way. Now to begin with, we will need some state management. Now you could use in React like context, or you could use Redux toolkit or React Redux toolkit, but I'm using Zustand because personally I feel this is very lightweight and also it's super simple to use. If you like me to create a video on Zustand, let me know in the comment section. I'll create a video on that. So first we will have a state which is processing. So it will just let us know, it will act as a flag if the file is processing. And we will have an action. So that would be like setting the value for this processing. So it would be the true or false. Initially, we have the false value, and then we have a function to set the value of this processing. Now in Zustand, you create a store using create function. Then we have the state and action. Now it's not necessary that you need to have an action. Like you can just go with the state, but as we have the mutable state, so we'll just need an action associated with it. Now, ideally in Zustand, when you want to use the state, you have the store that you have created. Then in the store, you pass a callback, which takes in the state variable so that you can access the elements of your store. And then you have the processing, that means this element over here, and set processing, that means this element over here. Just to avoid that, I have wrapped it in a hook of itself, which is use processing. Now I'm going to go to the component that is responsible for uploading a file or processing this file. So here we got the processing and set processing coming from use processing. Previously I was using as a state. Now we have just changed it to a store, and then this is going to keep track of every action that's going to happen here. So if the file is processing, then we just have true or false set depending upon what's the status of the file. If it's processing, it's going to be true. If it's not, it's just going to be false. Now then we'll head on to the navigation guard. Is you could create like a wall for your page. That wall could be more like, you could say you have the UI, that which is this one, and then on top of that you have a transparent wall that acts as literally like a gate or a wall that allows, just takes in all the clicks, just takes in all the actions happening on it, and then it just avoids it from reaching it to the actual UI. So here what it is going to do, first we are going to get the state. So just to keep a track of whether to activate or deactivate this wall. If it's not processing, we just don't run this use effect, because this use effect is dependent on that processing. So we are in the navigation guard now, our wall. Now here I have on click and on before unload functions. Now whenever someone clicks, what happens is there are some events happening behind the scene in JavaScript. So what I'm trying to do here is when they click on the document or anywhere on the page, I'm going to find the nearest element, which is anchor tag button, or any element which has an attribute of role button wherever the click happens. So let's say if I clicked over here, so the nearest would be this one over here. If there is no element, I'm just going to return because I didn't click on the anchor tag. I might click on somewhere else. If it's an anchor tag or some sort of clickable element that leads to a navigation, then I'm going to prevent the default action, and I'm just going to stop the propagation there. So this will avoid the navigation. Now let's say if someone wants to close the tab or someone wants to reload the page, we also want to avoid that, just so that, because the main purpose here is if the processing interrupts, then everything might fail. So we have a wall over here again that makes sure, or a guard over here that makes sure that we prevent the default behavior. And simply we add this event listener one on the document and the other one on the window. So before unload is the event on window. And we have a cleanup function for the use effects to remove these event listeners, so that we don't want to first add them unnecessarily. And also when the component unmounts, you just want to remove all of those. If we are not processing, then we just return nothing in the UI. But if we are processing, then we just return that wall. That wall is nothing but a div with fixed position and full height and width, so that it goes from here till this point, and then it acts as an overlay and it avoids any clickable happening on this page, and also it just takes that clickables. So now let's give this a try and see how it works. So first I'm going to upload a file. So let's pick this one. Now when the file is processing, I don't want these clickable actions, because if that happens, then it's just going to interrupt the entire process. And as a user, you never know, they could do anything. So process, and there you go. Now I can't click anywhere. So all these actions I can't do, because that's the main purpose. When the processing happens, we just want to avoid all the actions. And the navigation guard I have added in the layout so that we can use the guard anywhere if we want to extend that state. So this is just one way to avoid navigation, but of course there are n number of ways to do it. Let me know in the comment section which one you prefer or which one you're using. So that's all in this video. Hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you feel this video it's worth sharing with your network, please do share with your network. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to our channel. So see you in the next video. Till the next time, goodbye.